Hi, it's Kevin Lobase. This is a follow-on from yesterday's video, and it's kind of in response to a video I saw where the president of the European Central Bank was talking about cryptocurrencies and making the usual establishment point that they're not backed by anything. And I always find it odd when I hear this kind of comment, because they are backed by something. They are backed by a large crowd of people who are running nodes to maintain the system, and they're backed by the trust that all the people using that system have put into it. So they're backed by a society. And this is the same way that currencies work. Currencies, when they say they are backed by a central bank, no, they're not. They are backed by society. They are backed by the fact that if I'm living in Finland and I'm spending euros, I trust that the society that I'm in will accept them when I go to the supermarket or when I go to the cinema or a restaurant as a form of payment. And similarly, the people who are accepting that payment are trusting that the system will continue to work. So they're not backed by the European Central Bank. They're not backed by any bank. They're not even backed by the government. They are backed by the society that uses them. And this is something you see when you look at failed states where their currency has collapsed. The trust in that currency by the population has disappeared, and as a result, it doesn't matter how many tanks the government has or how important and well-dressed the president of the central bank of that country is. The fact is, if the society doesn't trust it, then it's worthless. And this keys into what value is actually all about, because one of the amazing things we as human beings have managed to do is we've managed to abstract value. If you have a real situation, you can put a value on something. So, for example, if I'm in the desert and I haven't had anything to drink for 2 days, then I value a glass of water very, very highly. However, if I'm living in a town in Finland next to a freshwater lake, then a glass of water has very little value to me, because I can just go out and get water anytime I want. So value is not absolute. It depends on the circumstance in which you need the particular item that you're valuing. That's kind of common sense. And if you try to abstract value, you're trying to create a kind of unit that you can use to compare values between different things and for different people to trade things that have different values to them without having to be in a bartering economy. Then you have money. And what we've done here is we've created value out of thin air. We've, as a society, agreed that we're going to use these bits of paper or these coins in order to keep account of how much things are worth, how much they are valued by various people in the society, even though those bits of paper themselves inherently have no value. So it's amazing that we can create this value out of thin air, and I think it's sort of a testament to the ability of the human brain to form abstractions. And with that in mind, so that's why gold has value. 90% of its value is artificially created by society agreeing on it, and we've spent thousands of years trusting in gold. The value of the euro or the dollar or the pound is based on a societal decision that that's what we're going to store the value in somehow. And therefore, there's no reason why something like Bitcoin can't have value too. And in fact, it does. You can put a dollar price on it. You can go to Google and type 1 Bitcoin in dollars, and you get a figure of what its current value is. Now, yes, at the moment, it's very unstable. It bounces all over the place. Nobody really knows whether it's going to go up or down. We don't even know if it's going to survive. But I can tell you something. If there's one thing we can learn from history, it's that pretty much no currency survives. You know, we're not using Roman coins anymore. There are plenty of civilizations that had their own currency, and that currency is now worthless, and those civilizations are gone. And I can pretty much guarantee you that in 1,000 years' time, the US dollar or the euro is not going to be being used as a currency either. Maybe Bitcoin will, maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, there are some musings on value, currency, and why cryptocurrencies are an important step forward in that area. Hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow, where I may get away from a bit of this economic philosophizing and move back to something technical, something real, not abstract. Bye for now.